Okay, just some of the reasons why you might choose IT Sligo. Obviously, for Canadian citizens, you don't need a student study visa to come to Ireland. So once you arrive here, you are obligated within 90 days to register with immigration for what's called the IRP card, and we assist with that. In fact, we bring immigration in as part of orientation. So you can complete an honours bachelor degree with 1 or 2 years of additional study. So generally, diploma students can degree complete to honours degree level with 2 years of additional study, and advanced diploma students can degree complete at honours level in Ireland with 1 more year of additional study. Tuition has increased actually this year to €8,500, but we actually reduced that by a further €500 if you pay a refundable deposit within 90 days of the date of your offer. So that would reduce tuition to €8,000 for the year, which is roughly the equivalent of 12,000 Canadian. You can use your OSAP, student loan aid overseas, and I know the rules have changed recently, and the 6-month moratorium on interest payments on loan has actually been removed, but you can still use your OSAP funding overseas. You apply as you ordinarily would through the Thunder Bay office, and I think that opens around the 1st of May every year. We're also registered with the Canadian Revenue Agency, so you can write off the cost of tuition if you're privately funded against future taxes. If you graduate in Ireland with an honours bachelor degree, you're allowed to stay back for automatically for a period of 12 months post-graduation here in Ireland under what's called the Graduate Work Permit Scheme. And you're also permitted to work a part-time job for up to 20 hours a week during term time and up to 40 hours a week outside of term time. The minimum wage is enshrined in legislation here, and it's around €9.40 per hour, which is the equivalent of about 14 Canadian dollars. Okay. So I suppose IT Sligo has been active in the Ontario marketplace for the last 8 years or so, on foot of the THEA Colleges Ontario System to System Agreement, which was signed around 2011 and was renewed 2 years ago. Just some FAQs about the structure of the school year in Ireland. So we have 2 semesters. So generally school for 2019-2020 will actually start on Wednesday the 11th of September, and classes will run to about the beginning of the 2nd week in December. There are breaks for Halloween and Christmas and examinations in January. Classes will recommence then around the 3rd week in January with a break for Easter, and we'll finish up generally around the 1st week in May with examinations in the 2nd and 3rd week in May. So book-ended, actually class time is generally comprised of about 2 semesters of 13 weeks, teaching weeks each. And for students that actually have placements, some placements actually run during the 2nd semester, or in the case of some of the computing programs, actually around the end of March through till around the beginning of August. Can you use OSAP? Yes, we touched on the fact that we're registered with the Canadian Revenue Agency as well. Including within that tuition price point of €8,000, the reduced figure includes your medical insurance and also airport collection. And generally student housing is quite plentiful around Sligo. The cost is around €80 per week, which is roughly around 120 Canadian. That includes generally utility bills as well. So there are a number of different housing options, and we can go through that later on in the presentation. The only one-off or hidden cost actually relates to the immigration card, which is the IRP card, which I mentioned earlier. All non-European students are obligated to register for that within 90 days, and that cost is €300, roughly around 450 Canadian dollars. So I've touched on the airport collection. So what if you decide to accept your offer, or if you're in receipt of an offer from IT Sligo, you just need to email us your flight arrival details, so your flight number, time and date of arrival in the terminal, and we'll either arrange for a private coach collection or a direct transfer from the airport directly to Sligo via the express bus air and coach, a picture of which you actually see there in front of you. Some of the reasons why you might decide to choose IT Sligo actually relate to the cost of living. So you'll see comparatively just in the top right hand corner of your screen there that the average cost of accommodation can be anything up to 40% cheaper than some of the bigger city locations. Sligo has a population of about 20,000 people within the town itself. Within the county of Sligo, up to 60,000 people, and we've got a full-time student population of 4,000 students. So it's very much a student-centred town in terms of the activities. If you like the outdoor life and you like the, I suppose, smaller town feel, well then Sligo will definitely be a choice you should consider taking. If you like the big city experience, Sligo is not that. Okay. So that's the environment, surrounded by a number of beaches, the Wild Atlantic Way, and anything from Mullockmore to Ross's Point to Strand Hill to Enniscrone. And obviously the landscape is framed by Knocknarea and Strand Hill, and Ben Bogle Mountain, which is located just immediately behind the campus to the north of us here. So that's I suppose an aerial shot of the campus itself. So it's a single campus environment on about 72 acres. And effectively you can walk from one end of the campus to the other under one roof, which is an advantage, believe me, when the weather starts to rain, which can be 4 seasons in one day. And it'll take a while to get used to, but our climate is quite temperate. So generally lowest temperatures around 0, highest temperatures during summertime maybe 20 degrees. So there are no drastic swings in either direction. So student support services, medical and counselling, access office, so anybody with a learning difficulty, be it physical or cognitive, please do send us those details so we can ensure that all the suites of supports that you would ordinarily enjoy on your home campus are also available here in Sligo. A careers office, there's a very good careers fair generally held around the 3rd or 4th week in September, and also a postgraduate fair as well, which actually was on today on campus as well. So anybody considering either further study or indeed job opportunities on graduate placement programs, there are a number of different fairs here hosted on campus every year. Chaplaincy services were tolerant of all religious beliefs and faiths. So all of those services, everything that you'd expect to receive at home, are available here. So just some campus shots. So what you see in the background there is the Student Services Centre and the Yates Library. Accommodation, so we have about 2,500 student residence bed spaces here, all located on the periphery of campus, generally within 5 to 10 minutes walk. Or should you decide to stay in a place such as Milligan Court in the centre of town, it's about a 10-minute walk away. So generally 3-bedroom apartments. Each apartment has its maybe 3 bedrooms, each bedroom with its own ensuite bathroom. So Knocknarea Sports Arena here, so as little as €4 per use, or as little as €100 for an academic year, you get unlimited use of the gymnasium and the Knocknarea Arena. So just some useful survival tips. You see some icons there in front of you. If you're planning on bringing your own mobile phone, just make sure that you bring it unlocked. So mobile phone plans here for as little as €20, about 30 Canadian dollars a month. You can get unlimited data, unlimited text messages to any network, and unlimited calls from the same network to the same network. There's a bank on campus as well, Allied Irish Bank, so we assist with opening a bank account as well here. Discount retailers, you see there, the German discount stores such as Lidl and Aldi. One thing that we'll stress, and I'm sure some of the students that are with me here will also stress, is the opportunity that Ireland presents you in terms of travelling within Europe. Travelling via air travel within Europe is extremely cheap. You can be in any modern city or in Europe from Ireland via Ireland West Airport Knock, which is about 30 minutes away from here, or indeed Dublin International Airport for as little as 100, 120 Canadian dollars return. So I'm sure some of the students will wax lyrical about some of the cities that they've already visited so far already, and we're halfway through the second term here. So clubs and societies, always urge students to register with a clubs and society. There's always a club or a society catered for whatever interest that you may have, including the International Society. Starbucks, well, concession stand, no Timmy's, sorry. So we have 3 faculties here, 4,000 full-time students. So you see the Faculty of Business and Social Sciences, Faculty of Engineering and Design, and also the Faculty or School of Science as well. And we have students actually represented from most, if not all, of all 3 faculties here this evening. So feel free to ask them questions when they jump on the webinar in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. So I know that we have students on the webinar who are interested in transferring to our Bachelor of Business Honours degrees. So you guys would obviously possess an advanced diploma in Business Admin diploma. So you can transfer into any of the streams, be it general business, marketing, human resource management, finance, tourism, or international marketing with sales with a language, into the 4th and final year without any bridging or alignment studies. So you transfer directly into that 4th and final year. So 1 more year of additional study, you can graduate with an honours bachelor degree in Ireland. I have a question here from Adnan Osman. Adnan, I think I met you in Ottawa in Algonquin College recently, who's wondering about part-time jobs. So you can work up to 20 hours per week during school time, up to 40 hours a week outside of school time. Minimum wages in Shriner legislation is around €9.40, or about close to 14 Canadian dollars an hour. I know some of the students that are here with me this evening are actually are actually working part-time jobs. So I think Charles, for argument's sake, is working at the Clayton Hotel, which is located immediately behind us here. So feel free to ask Charles a question with regard to his own part-time job. OSAP funding opens on the 1st of May, and you apply as you ordinarily would through the Thunder Bay office. I think you can get funding up to a maximum of 10,000 Canadian dollars, but do check with the Thunder Bay office just in terms of eligibility, because I know that some of the criteria has changed recently. Question from Shannon, what type of jobs are available and what is the pay rate? Again, the minimum wage is €9.40, which is about 14 Canadian dollars an hour. Most of our students and non-European students who are partaking in part-time jobs are actually working in either retail or in the hospitality sector. So anything from mobile phone shops to clothing stores to bars or restaurants. So we have a couple of students on the webinar who are currently taking 2-year diploma in ECE. So with 2 years of additional study, you can transfer into year 3 of our 4-year honours degree program here. And yeah, with 2 years of additional study, you can graduate with an honours bachelor degree in early childhood care and education. Okay. A question from Connor as to when you should look into housing. Again, I would generally, housing kind of opens up around June. So there are different options available to you. Obviously, student residences. They're all privately owned and managed in Ireland. So you need to just contact ourselves at the office in KOM, and we can put you in touch directly with the various student residence providers. Others, including some of the students here, have actually been on the receiving end of a private housing that's been handed over from students that would have graduated last year. So that's also an option that's available to you. And there are various different Facebook groups which are active, or where you can find rooms that are available for rent, or indeed private houses that are available for rent in totality to let's just say more mature international students. Okay. Question here from Alki, in terms of you're traveling as a parent and you have a 7-year-old son who'll be traveling with you. Unfortunately, Alki, if you're enrolling in an honours bachelor degree program here, you don't enjoy automatic rights of reunification with your own children or dependents, and that only is conveyed on students who are actually partaking in level 9 or level 10 studies here. So if you have a dependent or a child and you're enrolling in a bachelor's degree program, unfortunately, you cannot you don't enjoy any automatic rights of reunification with family members. So they can accompany you, but only as a tourist, and as Canadian citizens they can only accompany you for periods of up to 90 days at a time. So I know we have a couple of students as well on the webinar who are tourism students. So if you're in receipt or currently taking a diploma program in tourism, you can transfer into the 3rd and final year of a 3-year general degree with an option then to go on to the 4th year for the honours bachelor degree program. So you can degree complete at honours level for 2 years of additional study, or you can exit after 1 year with a general degree. Okay. Question from Sky in terms of the DFA swap program. So yes, so Sky, if you have a partner, you can apply by jumping on the DFA swap program, which is I suppose a working holiday program. So there's reciprocal visas for Irish students or Irish citizens in Canada, and then Canadian citizens are offered similar working visas here in Ireland. So that's basically how it works. You don't need to have a job lined up in the interim. You jump on the web page and DFA, and all on how to apply is it's mentioned there. So a lot of our students who have partners who wish to accompany with them, the partners do apply for a swap visa via the DFA swap program. Question from Connor, when do you need to leave Canada to be there in September, and when is the end of the year in May? So I think classes generally end about the 23rd or 24th of May, or sorry, after examinations. If you're looking for a part-time job, classes start here at about the 11th of September. I would urge people to arrive here perhaps the last week in August, so you get a jump on the competition. And at that stage, the festival season here is in full swing, so you have a good opportunity to get a part-time job and obviously keep it throughout the academic term. Okay. Julie, a question in terms of bringing a partner, does it only apply to spouses? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Regarding work, Shannon, you were saying you're a freelancer. Could you also freelance in Ireland? Absolutely. Yeah, there's no limitations to working there. So I'm just moving on. Don't think we have any. I know we have some biotech students on the line or on the webinar. So again, if you hold an advanced diploma, you can degree complete at honours bachelor degree level with additional year of study here, with no bridging or alignment study requirements. And again, we've got some biotech students here from St. Lawrence College on the webinar. So feel free to ask them any questions when they jump on the webinar. So I'm just jumping through all the major pathways that we have here based on the profile of students that are actually on the webinar. So I know we have some civil engineering students and advanced diploma students, so you can degree complete at honours degree level. It's one of the exceptions. It's 2 years of additional study here, so it's a 3+2 option, and part of that is because of the Chartered Engineers Ireland accreditation that attaches to that programme, and that's recognised worldwide under the Washington and Sydney Accords. If there are any advanced diploma students from architectural technology or indeed civil engineering tech or construction management technology, one of the popular pathways is our 1 year add-on option for construction project management. So again, it's 1 year of additional study, or indeed you can take that program 2 years online, but most students do elect to take it by way of 1 year of additional or full-time study. I don't think we've any architectural design students on the line. We do have a fine art student, so if you have a 2 year diploma in fine art, you can degree complete at level 7, which is our 3 year general bachelor degree with 1 year of additional study, and then you have the option, should you wish, to go on for the 4th and final year of our honours bachelor degree programme. There are no bridging or alignment studies required for that. So I think, Shannon, I think that applies for yourself. So 1 year of additional study, Shannon, and you can degree complete at level 7 on our framework, which is the 3 year general bachelor degree, and then you have the option to go on for the 4th and final year for the add-on option. If you have a 3 year advanced diploma, Shannon, you can actually go straight to the 4th and final year of the honours bachelor degree. So 1 more year of additional study for yourself, and you would graduate from IT Sligo with a BA honours in fine art, and that's at level 8 in our framework. I know we've quite a few students from St. Lawrence, Brockville campus, musical theatre performance students. So you transfer into the 4th and final year of our BA Honours in Performing Arts in the acting stream. You do have bridging or alignment study requirements in terms of, sorry, there's no bridging or alignment study requirements, but you are required to undertake up to 10 hours of one-to-one dissertation tutorial support. And that's worked well with the cohort of Brockville students that are currently here at the moment, all of whom are succeeding very well based on our first semester's results. And we're also performing in local shows here in Chicago, the musical, and also Oklahoma, the musical, and some of the students are actually taking the leading roles in those performances. So 1 year of additional study for musical theatre performance students, and you degree complete on the acting stream with a BA Honours in Performing Arts. So we have some CNTS diploma students on the webinar from various institutions. So you can degree complete with a general degree in a BSc in Computing in Networks and Cloud Infrastructure, otherwise known as Systems and Networking, with 1 year of additional study here. That includes a year 3 industry placement of 16 weeks. So I'll invite Charles Ellis in a moment to sit in on the webinar, and he will inform you about the placement that he's taking, which I think is in Dublin at the moment at an ICT company based in Dublin. You do then have the further opportunity to further your studies with an additional year of full-time study to graduate with an honours bachelor degree at level 8 in our system. Which is that program there. I know we have some automation and control or electromechanical students on the webinar as well. So if you hold a 2 year diploma, you can degree complete at honours bachelor degree level with 2 years of additional study. or if you hold an advanced diploma, it's just 1 year of additional study. And indeed, you have that option as well to degree complete online via 2 years if you wish as well. In terms of the transferability of your qualification here, Ireland's, we're a public institution, and our bachelor degree programs are recognised worldwide. So you can verify that via the website qqi.ie. So that's qqi.ie. So all of our credentials, our bachelor degree programs are recognised throughout the world. So I think we might have some games technician students on the webinar as well. So again, you can degree complete you can convert your diploma to a general degree in games development with 1 year of additional study, and that includes a 16-week placement as well in year 3. Finally, if you haven't applied already, you just simply jump on the KOM Consultants website, and in the top left-hand corner, click on the Apply tab. It'll take you 2 minutes of your time to apply. It costs nothing to apply, and then you just send in photographic ID, send in your College Ontario transcript. So that doesn't matter whether you've graduated or not. Once you're in your final year, please do send in your transcript. You need a minimum CGPA of 2.4. Whilst we say the closing date for applications is the 1st of June, because Canadian citizens do not require a student study visa to study in Ireland, you can in fact apply as late as August, and that's a simple matter of paying the tuition and jumping on a plane to get here. Okay. Question which I'll actually ask invite some of the students to come on. So I'm going to invite 2 of our students from St. Clair College, so Sam and Colin. So they're going to sit in on the webinar, guys. So please use the chat box on the left-hand side to ask questions of them both. They're currently studying the Bachelor of Business Honours in Marketing here, the 4th and final year of the Honours Bachelor Degree Programme. So keep the questions coming on the left-hand side, and the guys will do their best to answer them. So ask anything about the programme, or ask anything about student life, the opportunity to travel, the structure of the academic year, housing options. Feel free to ask away on the left-hand side. So I'm going to hand you over to both Colin and Sam. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for a moment.
Thanks. So my name's Sam, and I did the advanced diploma at St. Clair for marketing.
Literally the same thing. We're in the same program.
Yeah, and that's Colin.
I'm Colin, not Sam. Oh, a bunch of people I know. Hi.
So first question, are there scholarships / funding options that we can apply for? Patrick would probably be the guy to answer that, but I believe they gave you an international discount because you're coming from Canada. In addition, you can do the OSAP as well as any of the stuff that you can earn at home, I think, can carry over.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'll jump back in there. So ordinarily non-European fees for students coming from countries other than Canada, they're €10,500. So we automatically reduce that to 8,500 with a further discount to €8,000 if you pay a refundable deposit of €1,000 within 90 days of receipt of your offer. So you're getting a discount of up to 20% already.
Thanks, Patrick. All right, next question. Where were we? Do you have to, so the question is, do you have to begin the degree program right away after graduation, or can you wait a year? I'm pretty sure you can wait a year,
yeah.
Right? Yeah, so you can defer. So if you want to take a year off work, I personally just went right into it, mainly so you're still in the swing of being a student and everything. So it's a little easier to just continue that versus like taking a year off. But personal preference, and everyone's situation is a little different.
Patrick, we're going to need you again because there's a question about environmental tech and compliance, about 2 years there, and then going into how many years would he need at IT Sligo?
Okay, so if you hold a environmental technician diploma, if it's a 2-year diploma, you can degree complete at level 7, which is our 3-year bachelor degree with 1 year of additional study. If you wish to go on for an honours bachelor degree, you would then have to study a 2nd year. If you hold the advanced diploma in environmental technology, It's just 1 year of additional study for the honours bachelor degree.
Cool. So to answer your question, Daniel, on how did we find the transition from St. Clair to Sligo, I guess I'll start because I'm reading the question. It was actually pretty good. At least the program at St. Clair gave us a lot of the knowledge we needed. So it was a little different getting used to obviously how school works in Ireland and just how the system works and everything. But once you get the hang of it, like there wasn't any material that was really surprising, like, whoa, what, we haven't learned this before, and like that we were expected to know. So it's a pretty good it was pretty good transition. Like I even said to some of our teachers like Nicole and Gary over Christmas when I saw them that, like, oh no, they prepared us well. So don't feel like if you're anxious about that, like it's pretty smooth.
One thing you will find here too is that the courses, it's not set up the same way as it was within the college system where you had a lot of assignments and then you had a few tests and then a final exam. Here in the fourth year program, it's set up where the bulk of your course is the exam and then there is a continuous assessment, which is usually a final project. And so that's for most of the courses. Some of them don't have exams. So it just depends on kind of what you have to take in that. And it would vary differently.
Yeah. Okay, just so we don't miss this. How do we find the course load? The course load is actually pretty good. So basically, almost every course has what's you have your CA, so it's your cumulative assessment, which is basically usually just one or two, like two small projects or one big project, and then the rest of it, the actual percentage of the grade is the exam. So you're really only working on over one project over a decent amount of time. And all the teachers here are pretty accommodating. You're not getting the project the last 2 weeks and you're struggling to do it. No, you usually get it like right at the start. So you have a month or two, or depending on the project, to actually to do that. So it's pretty good. You just have to manage just like any other school.
Don't need things till the last minute.
Yeah, exactly.
So Olivia asked if there was any homestay options with Irish families who live in Sligo. Yes. Yeah, you can do that. Patrick would have more information on that, so it would be best if you contacted him.
Yep.
Housing options.
How easy did we find accommodation? It's pretty easy. Like I said, once you apply and everything, KOM will even reach out with you about like which the student residence is and give you all that contact information. I actually knew 2 Canadians who were here the previous year, so I ended up living in a house with a few other international students. But then, to some other reasons, I moved out and I'm actually in one of the student accommodations, the same one as Sam. We live across from each other. But yeah, so it's pretty easy. Like don't ever feel if you don't like where you are. If you pick one spot, don't feel like you're tied down. You can always move somewhere else. Like there's not a lack of housing here, so don't feel like you're going to be really struggling to find a place.
There's a wide variety too, depending on what you're looking for. Some places you can do twin sharing, so there's 2 of you in one room. You can get your own room with your own bathroom, or sharing a bathroom. So there's a good variety for that as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay. So KOM asked us if we can explain why we chose Ireland and IT Sligo. So, I mean, at least for me, the main reason was when I was about to finish school, I realized that I wanted to get my degree because it would make me more employable. And then, so when I started looking at universities across Ontario and Canada, I realized that for almost all of them, I needed to either pay a ton of money or a ton of money and have to do it over 2 years. So then when I found out about Ireland being an option, being able to do it only in 1 year, and for actually really reasonably price, and that it gave me the ability to travel and do all that, it was a no-brainer option. So once I figured out, okay, how am I going to pay for this and how am I going to do all that, there was it was boom here.
For me, I've always wanted an international experience through school, so I thought it would be cool to come to Ireland. And I picked Sligo because they didn't have a housing crisis like some other places do within Ireland. If you were to go to school in Dublin, your rent's going to be skyrocketing high. It's outrageous there right now. I was in a hostel there before I came home for Christmas, and somebody was basically living there that was from, I believe, Tipperary, because he couldn't find accommodation in Dublin. So Dublin, it's very tight. Anything near Dublin as well would cost you a little bit more money. And Sligo had a lot to offer too, especially in terms of outdoor stuff to do.
The timeline like from applying to moving? So it depends when you apply, to be honest. Like Patrick said, you can apply really close to the beginning of the school year or not. Both of us applied January, February.
I did mine in November.
October, November. He's even further than me. But so even so we applied roughly. I applied roughly around this time. And then it was basically just figuring out on my end, how I'm gonna pay for everything and all of that. And then you basically play the waiting game during the summer of just kind of chill and wait to move. But it's pretty good, especially Patrick mentioned earlier, the school semester starts 2 weeks into September. And so I came up the 4th of September, and I believe the first day of school was the 12th. And that was perfect because it gave me the week and a half to get used to the area, figure out where stuff was, sort out my room, everything, get to know the campus, just kind of explore, and then get over the jet lag and everything. So then day one school could just get right into it.
Patrick, this one might be for you again. Do you require a GNED equivalent in year 4 from a discipline other than your major?
No.
Okay.
So in Canada, or I suppose unlike Canada, we don't operate a Gen Ed system here. So once your credential is in the cognate area that you're transferring to, we don't require a specific Gen Ed elective or subject to be taken to transfer across. Okay.
Do you enjoy living in Sligo, and what do you think of it? Actually, I was a little worried because Sligo's a little small town. But at least for me, I'm a photographer. I like to be around nature, and I kind of wanted that city vibe, but not the city. And Sligo's the perfect place for that. If you're not looking for the big city, but you want the nature and stuff close. I constantly all the time go hike in forests. I've climbed a few of the mountains in the area. There's lakes and stuff. Kayaked on lakes in the area. There's a lot of stuff, especially nature, to do in the area. So I've really enjoyed Sligo.
Yeah.
I definitely like it.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. There's 2 bus routes too, which one can take you out to Strandhill, the other one will take you out to Ross's Point. And they're both, I haven't been out to Ross's Point, but Strandhill is very nice. I've been wanting to get out there for a little bit, but it's very easy, and they run about every hour to go out there.
Yeah. All right, well, this is the next question. So the most important question, I guess, do we have spare time to travel? Yeah, it depends completely on how you manage your time. So if Sam and myself, being in the same program, we try to make sure our projects are done and we work on them, early so that we can have time to travel. So an example, in December for my birthday, the 2 of us and a few friends went to Barcelona for a weekend, just to enjoy it. You can travel, and with Ryanair, you can travel cheap. I think that trip, it was only €40 round trip.
You might have paid that. I might have paid a little bit more because I booked later.
Yeah, but it's cheap. So if you book it early enough, you can get a really cheap flight and just fly right over.
I booked a flight to London from Knock, and it cost me €20 round trip, and that was the cheapest flight that I've ever actually booked. If you're looking to travel around April or anytime after New Year's, really, the prices tend to go up. So you're better off doing a lot more travel within September to December, because you can get some good deals then as well.
You also have a week. I don't know 100% where it would fall in
around Halloween.
your year, but it's around Halloween where you have a week off. And so if you have all of your immigration stuff done, which you might as well just do that as soon as you can go and travel for that week. So that's what both me and Sam did. And then also you have a 2-week period in April where you can go and travel as well. So like I know both me and Sam are going to be gone in Europe the entire time. We're doing a little slightly different trips, but I'm going to like 7 destinations, and I only paid like 450 Canadian for the flights in between places. So it's really cheap to travel. You just have to like book the stuff in advance and not just wait until the last minute.
What's the public transit like? So as I said, so in town there's the 2 local routes, and then there is a bus system, which is convenient, and especially going to the airport, there is a bus that leaves extremely early in the morning, and then they kind of leave throughout the day. So you just sometimes have to, with that, keep in mind of when your flight lands and when the last bus departs. Because if you think you're going to be saving money, you might as well book yourself the earlier flight that costs more money before you do that. And then there is a train system here as well, but a lot of it goes to Dublin too.
All right, yeah, so we're going to pass it off to one of the other students, Charles. You can find both of us like on Facebook if you have any questions. My full name's Colin Topliff and Sam Phibbs. So just reach out to us. We'll answer your questions, and we're going to pass it off to Charles. See you.
Hey guys, I'm Charles Ellis. I'm from small town Fergus, Ontario, and I study Bachelor's of Computer Science and Computer Systems and Networking. I originally came from Mohawk College, where I studied Network Systems Technician and Network Engineering, and transferred over here after I finished about 2.5 years back home. It's a great program over here. Travel's really cheap and it's a lot of fun. I currently work at the Clayton Hotel, as I mentioned. I took the option to work with my visa while I was here and get some, part-time hours and stuff like that. Almost did, yeah, nearby there, close by. And so I originally studied at Hamilton, came to here. It's a lot like my small hometown. If you guys are from small hometowns, like Fergus, where we got like 20,000 some odd people. And so it's really nice here, and it's really similar for that as well. So the difference is, you got like 16 pubs here, where you got like 4 pubs back home. So if you're looking for your place, it exists and it's there. There's a lot of opportunities out here too. Clubs, going to join clubs. Like I do scuba diving, where I'm a 20-meter cold water diver. Have you been able to travel while maintaining a part-time job? Yeah. So over this Christmas break, I went and visited Glasgow, and I spent about 12 days in Glasgow, where I was with my buddy and his family over there. So if you're bringing a partner with you and you have, looking for housing together, there's lots of houses out there. There's usually about a few places that are double bedrooms and so on. So you get your double bed, and you'd be absolutely fine with that. And there's no shortage of housing at all for that. But I currently work at the Great Hotel across the street, which allows me to travel and as well make a bit of cash on the side. And currently, actually, with my program, I'm doing my internship down in Dublin. I'll be like doing distance radio communications and wireless radio as well for point to point. And that's pretty much my program here with that. So with that, there's like clubs you can do. So scuba diving, surfing if you're into that, airsoft, game society. What else we got over here that you can do? You can dance, hip hop, and go to competitions around the world and so on with it. It was not too hard to find a part-time job over here while you're doing that. I managed to find mine in October, and I arrived here September 4th. And you can do anything. A lot of people like do hospitality, retail, and so on. As long as you have like a stable resume, like you've had part-time jobs beforehand, you'll be good to go. So when you come here, you pay 300 euros. You get your ERP card, which you can then work on optionally with if you want to, and away you go. Most employers are really flexible with your hours. Like I work Friday, Saturday, and that's it. That's the end of my weekend. I do 10-hour days, those 2 bits. But otherwise, a lot of people do like 5 hours a few times during the week, and they go from there. Or maybe even some people do, like 10 hours during the week, and they're good to go. And employers are typically really nice about that. And if you can argue for it, wages are easy to negotiate. There's lots of jobs all around, lots of stuff to do. Yeah. A whole lot of questions. You have student work study jobs. Yeah, so there's internships. Depending on your program, you will have an internship, like I do. So you have a program coordinator for your program that'll help you find jobs and placements for you. So whether you're in games development, computer science, and I believe some engineering fields, you can get transferred into doing all kinds of internships. They'll set up interviews for you, give you tips on setting up your CV, and get you started through that. So you don't really have to put any effort into finding opportunity outside for your internships for placement. Yeah, I did connect with a lot of international students. A lot of the lads here over have met many international students from the Erasmus program. So you got like Germans, Polish folk, Irish folk, Italians, a whole broad of cultures of people mixing together, having a great time. The biggest challenge I felt with moving to Sligo was I brought like 160 kilograms of my things here, which was quite a heavy task bringing it across the airport, and it was super annoying. But once you get it here, it's easy to get set up and everything like that. Like, biggest things you have to worry about once you get here is typically just simple toiletries. Most of the houses come with everything already equipped, and you're easy, ready to go right off the bat. And I would definitely say like working has definitely helped with some expenses. It gives you extra spending cash if you need it. So if you don't want to dip into your student loan or your savings and stuff like that, having the part-time job really helps you go forward with that and move on with it, which is really nice. So we have some biotechnology students here. They're great guys. They'll help you out.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Mike, and I'm Sulu. That's my nickname. We're biotech from St. Lawrence, from Kingston. We're doing our last year here to finish up, and we're both staying in Milligan Court. Found our accommodation. We actually found it up together because we're both coming from the same program in the same school. And I see there's some questions coming in. Could you go back to the bathroom? Could you? I think so. We can try.
Let's see. In second year, do you ever struggle communicating? No. All of the professors really have like they have accents, but you can always understand it. And one of the great things about coming here as a Canadian is there's so many international students that aren't native to English. So they actually love the fact of like how loudly we speak, how clearly we speak, and they always bring it up and tell us like it's really nice to talk to us. We're like really good tools for learning and improving their English.
Yeah, and we've connected with so many international students. It's been amazing. We've been to so many countries already: France, Germany, Spain. We just got back from Amsterdam, and we have friends in all these countries, and it's really great to make connections with all of them.
How was Milligan Court? So Milligan Court is actually a very, very nice place. Like there's so many international students. You don't, not so much Irish students because they tend to go to other
Yates Village. Like the Irish students that we've noticed, they've lived closer to the school, but Milligan Court is really close to the city. So it depends. Do you want to live closer to the school and walk kind of closer, 5-minute commute to the school? Or do you want to live closer to the city? So grocery shopping for us is the easiest. I think that's the biggest complaint for people that don't live close to the city. It's 5 minutes for us to walk to Little, and groceries are cheap there, and it's really quick. The only thing is that Milligan Court is what we've noticed is one of the more expensive places in comparison. It's still relatively cheap. It's really secure and clean, but our Irish friends and the students in our classes have informed us that if you rent a house, and if you guys know other students, try to group up with them, and you guys can get into in a house by yourselves, and it's much more easier to kind of get through the year, and it's more affordable that way.
So just 1 year to complete. Is there just 1 year?
Yeah, 1 year. 1 year, and you do your final year, and you get your bachelor's of science at the honors level. And actually, after that, there's so many options to actually continue in Europe, even in Canada. It's all recognized, and actually for me and Mike, we're both thinking of going to Germany to actually finish our master's there. 2 years research master's, and we've already gotten all the things aligned. So Spain is an option for us. Going back to Canada is an option. US, and Germany as well. And
You
France.
can also stay in Ireland, yeah.
Yes,
Like,
as well. You can stay
Dublin
here.
has a very like Trinity University,
And IT Sligo.
IT
right?
Sligo, Galway.
Yeah, there's so many options.
So many options.
Mhm. And traveling is just amazing while you're
Oh,
here.
traveling like I would recommend coming to Ireland just like in August and just
Mhm.
seeing Ireland. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful place.
It is beautiful.
Like, just
and
get a few friends or something.
visiting Patrick, and he'll show you
Yeah.
a good time, that's for sure.
Yeah. And Patrick actually. Never mind.
Yeah. Have you picked up a lot of slang? Yeah.
Irish
say a lot of weird slang, like what's the crack? What's up?
What's the crack? It's grand.
It's grand.
Lads.
Some of the guys here have picked it up.
Some
Lads.
people say it's getting rowdy over here, but some people say like cheers, or that might just be me.
Yeah, it's very common. But
Yeah.
you pick up on a lot more slang and
Uh-huh.
things that you don't hear. But the students in our courses as well, and the
Very
Irish,
friendly.
they're super
Very
friendly and super accommodating. As soon as we got into the program, it was just such an easy transition. I think that's the main thing that we were kind of concerned about, how easy would the transition be, and it was just such a quick and easy transition. But
How different is the biotech sector in Ireland compared to Canada?
I would say for me,
So in Ireland, it's a lot of industrial biotech. So they're more focused on biopharmaceuticals and making medicine over researching it, which I think Canada would be more research side.
yeah, I
Not
found
so
the exact
much,
same
yeah.
thing. Research is big in Canada, especially at the university level. There's a big push. We were both at Queen's University
Mhm.
for
Placement.
our placements, and there was a huge push to stay in research and go into research, go in for your master's and PhD. Whereas here, it's completely different. You can get a job right out
Yeah,
of your
they're like-
bachelor's.
We were just doing a poster presentation in the hallways, and there was people from these companies coming and like asking us like
About our
resumes
work,
and
yeah.
like how we're doing here.
Yeah.
Like you would basically, as a biotech here, you could pretty much have a job out of school. They come in here and scout you themselves.
Exactly, and some of our Irish counterparts, they already have jobs lined up. Actually, as soon as they're done, they're going to be starting. So, and it's not only Ireland as well. A lot of Europe, there's a big pharmaceutical push. So it's a good place to be. But if you want to go for research, Canada is also a good option.
And the weather. So
Yeah,
you will find
we were wearing T-shirts yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday we were wearing t-shirts, but today you had to wear like
A coat and some sweater.
But it's very fickle. Like one moment you have sun, and then another moment it's just all hell breaks loose and it's rain. And you just invest in a good raincoat, because
Yeah.
your umbrella will break, or your friend will break your umbrella.
That was me.
He broke my umbrella.
And yeah, Patrick, you see all 4 seasons, and you do. We went up hiking.
Yeah, we went
to the
hiking.
mountain, and we saw hail, snow, rain, sunshine, and just crazy winds out of nowhere, all within 4 hours. It was exciting.
And when you go hiking here, everywhere is just sheep.
Yeah,
You'll find sheep they just let them go.
that's an Irish.
Yeah, an Irish
trait.
Yeah.
So we have, outside of the school experience, would you say studying living abroad has broadened your outlook on things?
It had 100%. Like I would not like this experience. It was completely worth it. Like you may find some negatives, but it's so greatly outweighed by the positive experiences you have. You make lifelong connections with people from all over the world, like Germany, Spain. I even have some plans. Like some of the Spanish friends I made have invited me to come visit Spain with them, and they want to show me around the west and south coast. And even our friend from our first semester in Germany,
we went and spent Christmas with him.
And his family.
Yeah. It was really amazing, and the people are just so welcoming. And anywhere you go, you just make such amazing connections. It's like I said, it's a good place to be, a good place to travel, and you make such great friends. That, I mean, all of our friends, international friends and Irish friends, are really, really amazing friends, and we're just happy to be here.
And it's just such a privilege for someone else to show you their culture.
Yeah.
Everything is so different. It's just amazing.
So Julia says, did you arrive in Ireland early August?
August,
so you could
yeah.
travel?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I went to Paris, south of France, Monaco, Nice. I did Italy as well, and then came back around Ireland, and we went around all over Ireland. It's so very cheap.
You know that guy, Adam Eldridge.
I do.
You know that guy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so easy to travel. Like I said earlier, me and Mike just got back from Amsterdam. We did a weekend in Amsterdam. It was very cheap to fly.
Yeah.
For us to fly in winter to Spain, it was only about 25 euro for our flight there. Then we went to Germany right after, and that was just another 25 euro. It's not a bad deal at all. It's amazing, and it's an experience that you can't really get in Canada because traveling there is just way too expensive.
Is there any info page for
Yeah,
environmental science? Oh, wait, it's right here. Okay, never mind. So the weather. God, you guys are.
We had one day of snow. We had one day of snow here, and the school shut down. It was like less than a centimeter.
People couldn't leave their driveways.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. You actually start laughing at them, considering how much snow they get and how everything is just crippled.
Yeah. A little bit of snow, and the whole country kind of shuts down. But yeah, no, it's amazing. Like I said, yesterday we were wearing t-shirts outside. It was sunny.
You won't have to bring any winter gear. Like maybe if you bring a nice light jacket, a raincoat,
and I think for your apartment mainly, bring like a bathrobe, or here you can buy bathrobes and blankets
and slippers. Oh my gosh, you're gonna need some slippers.
Yes, yeah. In the apartment, it can get a little cold, just the way the infrastructure is here. But if you have some layers for home, that's perfect. You won't need a winter coat at all. Yeah, and that's all the time we have. But for your questions to Patrick, he'll answer all of them. Thanks, guys.
Oh, you should tell them about the Home Trust cards.
No.
Home Trust cards. Home Trust card.
Hi guys, it's Patrick here again. So hopefully you enjoyed the Q&A with just a small sample of the many Canadian students that are currently studying here in Ireland. If you have any more questions, please keep it coming through for the next 2 minutes. Otherwise, we'll just we'll finish up on the webinar. Okay. What would you say it costs in Canadian currency per year, including tuition and residence? So we generally say somewhere between 20 to 24,000 Canadian dollars for one academic year. So that would include tuition, housing, subsistence, obviously food, and it will also depend really on the extent of the opportunity to travel that you're actually availed here. So kind of within that range of 20 to 24,000 Canadian dollars for one academic year, all in. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you have any more questions, just keep them flowing on the left-hand side. Otherwise, we'll finish up the webinar now. So thank you so much for joining in. Thanks to the guys here who've taken time out for them very, very, very busy schedules to be with us this evening. How many spots are there for Canadian students in musical theatre from St. Lawrence College? So musical theatre transfers into the 4th and final year of our acting stream in BA Honours in Performing Arts. So at the moment, without tipping into an extra class group, we would actually have 6 seats available. But there's potential to increase that. So what I would say is apply early, guys, and apply as soon as you can so we can get those offers out to you, okay? So anybody looking for more information on IT Sligo, just contact KOM at freetoll 1-877-318-8203, or just jump on the KOM Consultants website or email info@komconsultants.com. Last question from Shannon. Is it possible to cross disciplines? So if you're doing fine art, could you also take some performing art classes? The answer is no, unfortunately. Okay. And last question from Lewis. How early can you enter residency before the school year? Generally 2 to 3 weeks, Lewis. So you can agree that directly with the student residence company yourself. Okay. So listen, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for your interest in IT Sligo. Thanks for your time listening to both the student testimonials and my presentation. As I said, if you have any questions, you can actually email me directly or contact KOM. So I'll just put in my email address here in the chat box. So feel free to contact me directly or contact my colleagues in KOM. Okay, guys, thank you so much.